How do I pay for college? Welcome to jobferno. I'm 𝐸𝐴𝐸, and today we're going to discuss college and how people pay for a college education. Now, if you know anything about myself and my college experience, you would know that I spent a lot of years in college. I spent about 8 years going to college, and I racked up a lot of student loan debt. I made a lot of dumb decisions. I did a lot of things I probably shouldn't have been doing. Mainly, I made a lot of poor career choices. Just to talk about a few of them, I went from AutoCAD drafting, which I did really well and I should have stayed in. And then I went into, I eventually went to the university and went into mathematics. I spent a short time as a botany major, and I changed majors again and went into environmental science, where I learned about ArcGIS. And I said a lot of things in there because really none of it's that important at the moment unless you really want to know. But I switched college majors quite a few times. And actually, in hindsight, I should have just stuck with the AutoCAD. Honestly, I probably wouldn't be doing these videos right now if I had done that. But how are you supposed to pay for college? I had a great discussion over the weekend of somebody from a prior generation who had said college was $200 a semester. I was taken aback by that, obviously, because the idea that you could spend just $200 for a whole semester in college made absolutely no sense to me. I currently sit with roughly about another $60,000 in student loan debt that I have yet to pay off. All that was from my college program 14 years ago. And so I found this posting on Reddit where the person asked, "Help me to understand how people afford college. I am a parent of a senior graduating from high school. I read all over the Reddit, and the main advice is to not take out student loans. Any more than $50,000 should not be taken out. I agree, but I also struggle with how is it possible from an all-in standpoint. My student finishing with a 3.95 GPA after a bright future in FAFSA. For 4 years, the total that would be taken out in loans is $55,000 for university school. I've looked into other than community college. Are people who are voicing not to take out more than that based it on previous pricing, like pre-COVID, etc.? All fall spring terms total with room, food, fees, tuition in our state is $25,000 annually. I do not want my child to start life out with massive debt, but I also don't fully understand how, aside from going to community college 2 years and moving on to university, you can do that. Unless, of course, you either qualify for everything or you're from a wealthy family. I'm a single parent of one who makes about $55K. All right, so there's a lot to unpack here. The first thing that has to be understood is whenever you're going to go to college, the first thing you have to know is what job you're planning on getting when you graduate to college. This is key. This is key. Go to a college graduation. We're in May now. Go to a college graduation and ask, "Oh, what do you plan on doing after high school?" Because, you'll hear that lame-ass question that's been asked for, 20, 30 years, probably more. And the person will say, "I'm going to get an economics degree." And you say, "Oh, yes, fantastic. An economics degree, okay." That is the wrong answer. Anybody who's in high school who answers, "I'm going to go to college and get a blank degree," is providing the wrong answer. The real answer they should be providing is, "I'm going to college because I'm getting an economics degree because I want to be an economics teacher." Okay, well then that kind of makes sense. There's a job at the end of the road. See, too many of us actually end up going to college with no plan in mind as to what job we're actually going to get. My dad actually put this best. I remember I was telling him I was planning on going to the university, and he asked me, so brashly, he asked, "What are you going to do in college?" And I said, "I'm going to be a astronomy major." And he looked at me and he said, "Well, what can he do with that?" And at the time, of course, I understood what he was saying, and I kind of thought about it for a moment, and honestly, my reaction was, go screw yourself. I'm going to be an astronomy major because honestly, I love astronomy. So that just seemed like the obvious solution for me, right? Because the only way anything will ever work out when you go to college is by going into the major of the thing that you think you like. Now, as history would turn out, the college I was going to didn't have a major in astronomy. They had a minor, but no major. So I did indeed change my major. But the one thing you should always think about whenever you're going to college, and this is kind of in response to what I'm seeing on this Reddit post, whenever you're going to college, you need to figure out what job you're planning on getting. If you don't know, then don't go. It's that simple. Because many people think, oh, well, you'll go to college. You got time. You'll figure it out. That's bullshit. You're not going to figure it out. You're really not. I mean, you're not. You're not. You're going to sit around. You're going to fart around. You're going to play video games. You're going to hang out with people. And then 4 years of high school, college will pass by, and then you'll graduate and you'll be like, ah, shit, now what do I do? So this person is saying, well, I don't want my child to start off with massive debt. So I do understand. Yeah, but you don't understand. Because with interest, that $55,000 is going to be $100,000. That's going to be a mortgage, or small mortgage these days. Your child, without a great job in mind, without a plan in mind, is going to be strapped. It's going to be in debt with that ball and chain around their neck for the next 20 years. So what do you do if you want to go to college? If you have a plan, if you have a job that you're trying to get? Well, first of all, you should try to get scholarships. Looks like this person has a pretty good GPA. But these days, is that going to be enough? I mean, in all frankness, high schools at this point are just daycare centers. And so really, they just give you an A or a B if you attend your class. So really, it's not that difficult to get a 4.0 these days. A 3.95 is not bad, but it may not be enough. And so scholarships is one option. The other is you need to tell your child to work while you're in college, to have a plan. If you know what kind of job you're going to get, let's just say you want to be in banking your whole life, you want to get an economics degree, you want to go into banking, then work at a bank, be a teller while you're at college. And don't blow that money, save that money and accumulate it, and then make payments on your student loans. Because then what will happen is by the time you graduate, maybe you'll have some loans, but you'll have, $20,000 instead of $60,000. Which brings me to another point. We're assuming here that they're going to have about $55,000 when they graduate in student loan debt. You're assuming that they're going to graduate in time. How many of us have switched majors while in college? If you went to college, you know you had no freaking idea what you wanted to do when you're in college. So therefore, you kept changing majors until you finally found the one that made you all warm and fuzzy. No. This person's not going to graduate in 4 years. This person's going to graduate in 5 or 6. You're not going to be looking at 55. You're going to be looking at $60,000, $70,000. And if you're like the rest of us, you'll find that first job and you'll say, now it's time to take over the world. I'm going to do that by working at Panera. And then 5 years go by, you find yourself married. You find yourself with kids. And then your wife is saying, we need to get a house. And you go, but honey, I'm just a manager at Panera. Well, use your degree. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll use my degree. There's not really a whole lot I could do with this International Martian Studies program degree that I got, but I'll see what I can do. There are two different modes you could have in life. You could either let life happen to you, or you can happen to life. And when you let life happen to you, you're going to rack up lots of debt. And you're going to be really unhappy. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to do bad things. And inevitably, you're going to find yourself 35, 40 years old going, what the hell did I just do? Then you'll spend the next 20 years of your life trying to fix it. Doesn't that sound awesome? So when we read this post, we could tell the parent is genuinely concerned about their child. The parent really wants to know what they should do for their child. But the worst thing you could do for anybody, especially one that has no idea how to live financially free, is to strap them down with debt. Just imagine that right now you don't have any debt. No credit cards, no house payment, no student loans, no car payment, no nothing. Just imagine. And it just irks me to think that when I was 19 years old, I had no debt. I had no debt. And I didn't know, and I didn't care. It meant nothing to me. Nobody told me otherwise. And when I was out trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, I flailed around, and I eventually found myself to where I am today. Student loans are not a good thing. Student loans, especially if you have no plan what you want to do after you graduate from college, are a bad, evil thing. You should not do it. Universities are predatory. They go after students, especially ones like this with decent GPAs. They do whatever they can to get you your money, because we need to stop thinking of the colleges and universities as these great places where people go to learn. They are not public schools. They might be public schools, but they are not a public school in the way that you think of your K through 12 experience. Universities and colleges, community colleges, they get paid. They are a business, and you are how they get paid. So stop thinking about the colleges as a great place, a place where you learn and grow and develop into the adult that you're going to be in the future, because it's inaccurate. It's a business. They're there to take your money, and all they care is that you get in and get the hell out, and then don't forget to pay them. If you got questions, let me know. Send your email to questions@jobferno.com. Become a member, find recruiters, find job coaches at jobferno.com. I'm SP Graham. This is Jobferno, and as always, choose skills over money.